Do you feel the weight of the passing years? Do you see a reflection in the mirror that no longer belongs to you, and this creates a feeling of sadness and anguish? Maybe you don't know it, but your daily habits could contribute to making you look older, accelerating the natural aging process. But don't despair. Buddhist wisdom, passed down for centuries, offers valuable insights on how to slow down your biological clock, and, above all, your internal one. You may not know it, but you may be cultivating, without realizing it, habits that make you look older. Habits so subtle that no one will ever dare tell you to your face, but that everyone notices. What if we told you that there are 7 secrets kept by an ancient Buddhist monk, capable of slowing down the biological and spiritual clock, slowing down aging? 7 secrets capable of making you feel and look younger, regardless of your age. We are talking about things that go far beyond simple appearance, touching the deepest chords of your being. So stay with us until the end of this story, because what you are about to discover could radically change the way you live and age. But before continuing, if you appreciate our stories, like and share the video so that it reaches as many people as possible. At the serene Kiyomizu-dera temple, suspended in the clouds above bustling Kyoto, a diverse group of people had gathered. Young and old, rich and poor, men and women, all had come to hear the words of wisdom from the elderly monk Ryokan. Known for his keen mind, compassionate heart, and uncanny ability to simplify even the most complex concepts, Ryokan was a source of inspiration to anyone seeking a more meaningful and peaceful life. Welcome, my friends. Ryokan began, his voice a melodious whisper like the rustling of bamboo canes in a summer breeze. Today we will focus on a topic that resonates with all of us, the art of aging gracefully, maintaining a radiant, youthful body and spirit. A young woman, her gaze fixed on the fine lines that were beginning to appear at the corners of his eyes, stepped forward, her voice trembling with apprehension. "Master Ryokan," she asked, "how can we escape the inexorable imprints of time? How can we preserve our youth?" Ryokan smiled kindly at her, his eyes shining with ancient wisdom. True youth, my friend, is not simply a matter of chronology, but a state of being, a symphony of how we heal ourselves, how we relate to the world, and how we nourish our spirits. There are 7 insidious habits that, if left untreated, can accelerate aging, both physically and spiritually. But fear not, for with awareness and loving commitment, these habits can be transformed. Ryokan rose slowly, his saffron robes flowing gently around him. Now let's look at point number 1, the canvas of the neglected soul. He paused, his eyes lovingly scanning each face of his audience. Imagine your body as a magnificent canvas, he began, an ever-evolving work of art. If you neglect to clean it, to prepare it, to nourish it with vibrant colors, inevitably the colors will fade, the texture will deteriorate, the intrinsic beauty will vanish. The same principle applies to our bodies and our spirits. It's not about chasing superficial beauty or denying the natural aging process. It's about honoring the temple that houses our soul. A middle-aged man, sitting off to one side with disheveled hair, rumpled clothes, and a general air of weariness, nodded softly. "It is true, master," he murmured. "In recent years I have let myself go, overwhelmed by responsibilities and worries." "It's never too late to start over, my friend," Ryokan reassured him. "Start with small gestures of self-love, a refreshing shower, a neat haircut, clean and pressed clothes, a moisturizer to nourish your skin. These are not acts of vanity, but rituals of respect for your body and your spirit. Remember, when we take care of ourselves, our vital energy regenerates, our inner light shines brighter, and this is inevitably reflected in our external appearance." He added, "Think about your skin, which is often neglected. A simple gesture like applying a daily moisturizer or lip balm can make the difference in preventing dryness and chapping, keeping it looking fresh and healthy. If you have a beard, keep it well groomed and defined. It doesn't require expensive or elaborate treatments, but a daily routine of personal care, done with love and attention. Ryokan approached a window, which offered a breathtaking view of the city below. And now for point number 2. Dissonance in the symphony of communication. He turned back to the group, his expression serious but compassionate. "How many times," he asked, "have you found yourself in a conversation where someone was talking too loudly, constantly interrupting, monopolizing attention without giving space to the others?" This habit, often unconscious, can become more frequent as we age, sometimes due to a gradual decrease in hearing. But it is essential to be aware of it, because harmonious communication is like an elegant dance, a continuous flow of give and take, of speaking and listening. An elderly lady in the front row, known in her community for her powerful voice and tendency to dominate conversations, suddenly turned red. "Master," she confessed in a low voice, "I'm afraid I'm guilty of this. I didn't realize how annoying it would be to others." Ryokan smiled softly at her. "Awareness is the first step toward change, dear lady," he said. "Consider getting your hearing checked to make sure there are no underlying problems. And, above all, make a conscious effort to moderate the volume of your voice, to listen carefully to others, to give them space to express themselves without interruptions. Imagine the conversation as a shared melody, in which each voice has its moment to shine without drowning out the others." This kind of active listening, this respect for the other, not only makes conversations more enjoyable, but strengthens the bonds between people, creating a sense of connection and mutual understanding. The monk sat cross-legged on a meditation cushion, inviting the others to do the same. And now, let's move on to point number 3, an aspect often overlooked, the habit as an expression of the soul. A young man, dressed in clothes that were obviously too large and of a faded color, shifted uncomfortably. "Master Ryokan," he objected, "I have always believed that spirituality and inner seeking were incompatible with attention to external appearance. Shouldn't we focus on essence rather than form?" Ryokan nodded in understanding. "Certainly, young friend," he replied, "true beauty lies in the soul. But how we present ourselves to the world, including how we dress, is a form of nonverbal communication, an extension of our inner energy. It's not about blindly following the latest fashion trends or spending a fortune on designer clothes. It's about choosing clothes that reflect our personality, that make us feel comfortable, confident, and in harmony with our body. Clothes that fit us well, that are clean, well-ironed and appropriate for the occasion, convey a message of respect for ourselves and for others. It is not vanity, but awareness of the power of image, of the way in which it can influence the perception that others have of us, and also our self-esteem." She continued, "You don't need a large and expensive wardrobe. A few well-chosen items of good quality that fit your figure well can work wonders. A well-ironed shirt, a pair of trousers that fit perfectly, a jacket with an elegant cut. These are details that can completely transform your appearance. And don't forget accessories, a belt, a watch, a scarf. They can add a touch of personality and style to your look. If you're unsure about what looks good on you, ask a trusted friend, family member, or an experienced salesperson for advice. The important thing is that your clothes are an authentic expression of who you are, not a mask or a disguise." Ryokan stood up again, walking toward a small, meticulously tended Zen garden. "And now, let us contemplate point number 4, an insidious trap that can poison our spirits and alienate others, complaining and criticizing as poison for the soul." A middle-aged woman, sitting with her arms folded and a perpetually sullen expression, stiffened slightly. "Master," she protested, "the world is full of problems, injustices, things that are wrong. Isn't it our duty to denounce what is wrong?" "Certainly," Ryokan replied, "we must not turn a blind eye to suffering and injustice. But there is a big difference between expressing legitimate concern and sinking into an endless cycle of complaints and criticism. Chronic negativity is like a toxic cloud that darkens our joy in life, saps our energy, and infects those around us. Every time we complain, we miss an opportunity to be grateful for what we have. Every time we criticize, we miss an opportunity to understand and forgive. Ryokan picked up a small, smooth stone from the garden and held it in his hand. Imagine that this stone represents a complaint, a criticism, a negative thought, he said. Every time you focus on what is wrong, you add a stone to your load. Over time, this load will become heavier and heavier until it crushes you under its weight. He continued, instead, try practicing gratitude. Every night, before you go to sleep, take a few minutes to reflect on 3 good things you experienced during the day. They can be simple things like a smile you received, a kind gesture, a moment of beauty, a tasty meal, a pleasant conversation. This simple exercise, practiced consistently, will radically change your perspective, shifting your focus from negativity to positivity, from lack to abundance. And when you express an opinion, make an effort to balance criticism with positive and constructive comments. Always try to find the good in things, even in the most difficult situations. Remember, gratitude is a powerful antidote to the aging of the soul. The monk approached a statue of the Buddha, his face serene and compassionate. And now, let's look at point number 5, often overlooked but of fundamental importance: posture and body language as a dance of life energy. An elderly man who until then had been sitting with his shoulders hunched and his gaze down, forced himself to straighten his back, almost as if he had heard the monk's words before they were even spoken. The way we move, the way we stand, the way we occupy the space around us, all of this communicates much more than words, Ryokan explained. A hunched posture, a shuffling step, a shifty look, an uncertain gesture, these are all signals that can convey insecurity, tiredness, a lack of vitality, even when they do not correspond to our internal state of mind. On the contrary, an erect posture, a confident step, a direct look, an open and expressive gesture, project an image of confidence, energy, presence, and youth. Ryokan stood, displaying impeccable posture, his back straight as a bamboo cane, his shoulders relaxed, his chin slightly raised. Imagine yourself as a majestic tree, he suggested, with your roots firmly planted in the ground and your crown reaching toward the sky. Feel your life energy flowing freely through your body, from the bottom up. When you walk, do it with intention, with awareness, lifting your feet well off the ground, as if you were dancing with life. When you sit, keep your back straight but without stiffness, finding a balance between stability and relaxation. And, above all, when you talk to someone, look them in the eye, not to intimidate, but to establish authentic contact, to show that you are present, that you are interested, that you are open to communication. She added, even simple stretching or yoga exercises, practiced regularly, can do wonders for improving posture, flexibility, and body awareness. And remember, the way you move affects not only how others perceive you, but also how you feel about yourself. An open and confident posture can increase your self-esteem, energy, and joy in life. Ryokan approached a brazier, from which a delicate scent of incense rose. And now, let's address a delicate subject, but essential to our well-being and our relationships. Point number 6. Personal hygiene as respect for oneself and others. The audience exchanged awkward glances, but nodded in understanding. As we age, Ryokan explained tactfully, our sense of smell can diminish, and we may not notice any changes in our body odor. Additionally, certain medications, dietary changes, digestive problems, and dehydration can contribute to unpleasant odors. Bad breath can also become a problem, often due to dry mouth, which encourages bacteria to grow. She continued, most people, out of politeness, will never tell you directly that you have a problem with your breath or body odor, but that doesn't mean they don't notice. They may simply distance themselves, avoid physical contact, shorten conversations, and this can lead to misunderstandings and a sense of isolation. Taking care of one's personal hygiene is not just a matter of cleanliness, but an act of respect for oneself and others. It is a way to honor our bodies and create a pleasant environment for those around us, added the monk. She then offered practical advice. Drink plenty of water throughout the day to keep your mouth hydrated and prevent dryness. Chew sugarless gum or suck on mints to stimulate saliva production and freshen your breath. Use an alcohol-free mouthwash to kill bacteria without over-drying your mouth. Shower regularly, using a gentle soap and effective deodorant. Wear breathable fabrics that allow your skin to breathe. And most importantly, wash your clothes, sheets, towels, and any other fabrics that come into contact with your body regularly. Sometimes an unpleasant odor can persist simply because the clothes have not been washed properly or because they have been worn for too long. Ryokan concluded, remember, good personal hygiene is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is a sign of self-care, respect for others, and awareness of one's impact on the world. The monk approached the temple entrance, pointing to the sun beginning to set on the horizon. And finally, we come to point number 7, perhaps the most important of all, the art of embracing change and living in the present. An elderly gentleman, sitting at the back of the room with a melancholy expression and a gaze lost in the past, sighed deeply. Master Ryokan, he said in a trembling voice, the past times were so beautiful, so simple, so full of meaning. The modern world is so frenetic, so chaotic, so devoid of values. How can we find joy in such a world? Ryokan smiled at him with infinite compassion. I understand your nostalgia, dear friend, he replied. It is natural that the past, with its happy memories and certainties, seems more attractive to us than the present, with its challenges and uncertainties. But clinging to the past is like trying to hold back water from flowing through your fingers. It is an illusion that prevents us from living fully in the present moment, the only moment we truly have. He continued, the world is constantly evolving, and we must evolve with it. It is not about denying the past, but about learning from it, drawing strength from our experiences, and using them to build a better future. It is about embracing change, welcoming new things with curiosity and an open mind, remaining flexible and adaptable in the face of